live?
Yeah.
All right. Good afternoon, everyone. We're live back. Develop Your Mindset podcast. Me and Luis. My name is Varouche. We do this show every Saturday, as you guys know. So those of you guys watch, and if you guys are new, the show is about develop your mindset. That's what we intend to bring every week because we challenge ourselves and we put out the same content that we've pushed ourselves during the week. Pretty much it comes from the company Kabartsi. This is where everything happens for us, and we put all the necessary important points and stuff that we learned, we did to this podcast, and we talk about it. Me and Luis, we analyze the week, kind of like we both have different perspectives, so you guys can get two different perspectives and kind of see where you have to fix your mindset, because we like that, we want to do that, we always do that. So very soon I'm going to start. Remember, this is jewelry company. This is what we do. We make jewelry here with designers. We have a website. The link is down below. You guys can visit the website, see what kind of designs we make, and then please let us know what you think. And with that, we have beautiful questions here. I'm going to start. This is number 98. Me and Luis, we've been pushing this pretty intensely, and we're going to continue one more week. And so before I start, Luis will say hi to you guys.
Yeah. So welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Develop Your Mindset podcast. As usual, it's always good to be here and be able to share really cool knowledge with you guys. That hopefully, if you implement what we share with you here, at least some of it, we hope that you see some changes in your life, and that you're able to improve and hit your goals, whatever your ambitions, whatever your purpose is. Hopefully you're able to use our help in that sense. And other than that, we can go ahead and get started.
Awesome. Don't forget, you guys can leave messages down below, or maybe you can contact us somehow. There's got to be a way to contact us, right? So if you don't want to be public, we understand. What I'm trying to say is we can continue the conversation. We don't mind if you guys need any guidance. Here we go. So this week, you have two choices. You can live your life disappointed, or you can have new beginning. So I'm going to talk about myself just a little bit, and then maybe I can remember to tell you guys a few things that is happening here. Basically, we all have dreams, we all have ambitions, we all have nothing in the beginning, which is we're born, we're growing up, we don't know anything. Mom and dad taking care of us, they're feeding us and taking care of us and all that. And life gets slowly harder and harder because more responsibility, more requires to have more discipline. More discipline you have, more you can do, more you can finish things that you've started. So you have, in that you're gonna you have to make choices. I've made ton of choices, and some was like shitty, and some was really good, and some were surprised me that how good it turned out. And there's all kinds of things happen when you start making choices. It's sometimes you think this is amazing, this is the best, but afterwards you'll learn that that kept you behind from doing what you're supposed to in going forward in life. So you have to see the future. How do you see the future? You can't. Pretty much you can predict. We don't have the machine yet to see the future. you predict, you kind of like guess, you like gonna see the best way for me to predict my future is like I put something in my mind and I do it, and then I go home that night. I ask myself, are you feeling good about this thing that you did? If I'm not feeling good about it, then I might give another push, another chance, and I give myself few chances. And then if I'm a few days of asking myself and not feeling good about that thing, I probably want to stop doing that because I'm not feeling good about it. I don't want to do it anymore because it's not making me feel good. Um, Not that to say you have to feel good to do something to become successful. That's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is to have some kind of gauge yourself if that's something you want to continue doing. Because if you don't feel good, you probably don't want to do it anymore. You have to change, and change is good a lot of the times. I know that people don't like change. They oppose on it, and then they don't want it. They just don't want to do something different because they're used to doing something that works for them time being, and they're comfortable doing it. It's very hard to get out of that comfort zone. So um, you guys have to make choices, and basically you for me about 7 years ago I started this thing. I don't know why I started, but at one point I was feeling so frustrated. I took up my phone and I took my picture, and that meant something to me. That meant I don't want to wear like this anymore, or I don't want to think like that anymore, or have so many pictures like that. That was my thing. You can do start writing on a page. It doesn't matter. You do something that reminds you of, and not only reminds you, but it would burn in your mind's eye that that moment was meant something to you, and you've made a choice, and then that became the new norm, the new you, and then that's how where you start going forward from, and then becoming better and better in that thing because you everything you start new, it takes time to get better. uh, Disappointment is what is disappointment? What is disappointment? Something's not working. You decided to do for a long time, you're doing, and it's not working. You're disappointed. How do you change disappointment? How do you become better? I guess you make more choices, man. And then you gauge yourself again, and you come into the same cycle again, um, hoping and wishing that it's going to be something different. But end of the day, remember this. It starts with you, it ends with you. You have to change. You have to become better. um, if you're disappointed, you should be disappointed at yourself, because end of the day, no one's going to come do it for you. You got to put the work. You have to put the time. And if you don't do it good, then you have only you to blame. That's how I see it, and that's how I do it. I never blame anybody. Who's going to come do it for me? I can hire people, buy time, but that's all I can do. End of the day, I can't buy time for myself. I have only 24 hours. I can't hire another Varush because it doesn't exist. So end of the day, it's my fault. It's my problem. I have to fix it. I get disappointed, but it has to be micro. You have to get out of it very, very quickly. It has to be effortlessly coming out of these situations, depression, the disappointment, whatever this kind of level feelings. You have to come out of it effortlessly, so you can actually do something that it's worth it, that it's gonna become something bigger than you. And yeah, I think that's it. Make choices, make good choices, and stick to it for a while. Gauge it, see what it is, how it is, and don't get disappointed. End of the day, it's on you to fix yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. So disappointment. So yeah, I mean, if you're out there, you're pursuing something, you're ambitious, you want to achieve some sort of goal. um, it's very common that at some point, you'll face some sort of struggle, and maybe you fail, and so you don't get the result that you want, and instead you get something completely the opposite, and maybe somebody else beats you. If this is like a competition or something around those lines. And so you feel bad, you feel disappointed, and yeah, I mean, this is something that's going to happen, and I think it's something that you should just learn to embrace that disappointment, be with it, understand it, see where possibly you might have made the wrong choice, or you took the wrong steps here and there, or you just didn't try enough, you didn't work hard enough, you didn't practice enough, and so you can go ahead and use that as leverage to improve yourself for the next time. But other than that, I mean, this is pretty simple. I mean, just embrace those disappointments, and yeah, I mean, don't get stuck there either. To the point where you don't feel like moving forward because of the disappointments. I mean, they happen, and they will continue to happen. The only thing you could really do is go through enough of them to the point where they just don't affect you as much, and you're able to think more strategically, more logically, to actually go out there and achieve the things that you want in a structured way, where you understand what's the process that's needed, that's going to work for you, and go out there and just execute, and just keep going.
Keep going. I guess the last part, it says new beginning.
Yeah.
Keep going is you're gonna meet the new beginnings always when you keep going. Awesome. Next one goes a little bit motivational here, which is not only you are going to fight the good fight, but also you have to keep faith. Like, first you have to find somewhere that it's worth it to fight the fight. We all have different sets of belief systems, sets of what do you call that, comes from your cultural background, your area that you're born with. It's something that it makes you feel that you're putting your time, and it's not for envy. It's something for good. That was crazy. I had to explain it. I don't remember the word, but here we go. Like, you have to fight the good fight, because good always wins. The bad wins in the beginning and loses in the end, unless they change their mind, they become good. They're probably good at what they're doing, but in the end, you will lose all the time if you're trying to harm somebody, if you're trying to steal something, if you're trying to do something that you're not going to put value in something. People would not like that. People love to see something coming along, like you're taking something and making something better. People get excited. They want to come and join you. If you're not doing that, then that's probably you're not going to experience that. You'll experience a little bit of gain in the beginning, and the fall will be very, very severe. So fight the good fight. Also, you have to keep faith. You have to keep faith, because like if you're building something, it takes forever. If you're lucky, in 1 year. If you look at the average, 5-10 years. Do you think you can last 5-10 years of keeping faith while you're working your ass off, like doing 15 hours a day, 7 days a week, year after year? Nothing's happening. It's like, your brain goes into coma, and then your brain goes depressed, and your brain says, stop, please stop. I can't take this anymore. This is too hard, too much, and please get me out of this place. But if you insist And if you keep on doing it and doing it more, there's no way around it. You're gonna succeed. I don't know how much you're gonna succeed. There's all kinds of success, but you're gonna succeed. And depends how much your belief system is formed around this idea that you are pushing. That's how much it's gonna succeed. If you think big, then if you succeed, you're gonna succeed big. If you're comfortable with something decent, small, then most likely you're going to succeed in that level. And then somebody else will come and tell you, like, bro, like, your idea is so amazing. I want to help you. Let's go big. You'll be like, no, I don't want it, because that's not what you want. So you're going to succeed regardless, and keep the faith. Sometimes it takes long. Sometimes it takes.
Yeah. Yeah, this point is, I don't know. I mean, I think you pretty much explained that pretty well. I mean, I don't have too much to say about that point. Um, the good and bad, all that stuff. I mean, obviously, go and, take the right steps, the good process, and don't try to find shortcuts or cheat your way to success, because it'll just harm you in the end. And so that's that. But yeah, keeping faith, I mean, that's in another realm that I don't necessarily tap into as much. I like to, I'm more strategic, more follow a strategy, follow look at the data, see what's working, what's not, and cut off what's not working and what is. And that doesn't just apply to like the work that you're doing itself, but it goes for everything in life as well. uh, it goes from the people that you have. If they're just not contributing enough to your purpose, you gotta cut them off. Things that you're doing, activities, if they're not contributing, also uh, cut them off. But other than that, I mean, yeah, that's pretty much it.
Okay. Next one is also a little bit of motivational here, which goes like this. What is your belief system? Do you know? I know. Because you cannot live beyond your belief system. Leaders are born when you discover a belief system. So here we talking about belief system, obviously, because you gotta know what you believe in, because a lot of people are confused. They don't know what to believe in anymore, or they don't understand what to believe in, and they don't know. Maybe they haven't done their homework, their research, they didn't pay the price yet. You didn't hit the bottom yet. You don't know. You're just floating in the in whatever place, and it's very, very difficult, very hard to uh, to to form a belief into something that means something to you. You have to push yourself into places where no one has gone before. At least you haven't been there, and in doing that, you're going to discover a lot of things about you. Some people have stamina, some people don't. Some people have weaknesses that others don't. You have to discover you. You have to understand what you're capable of today, what else you can become better, and also what you cannot become better at all. You are not good in that. You have to know your weak points. You gotta know what you fit in. Like, you have to work. You have to become so good in that component space where you become so valuable that no one wants to let you go. You're so important that it's it's like it hurts when you think that's not going to be there anymore. So you have to believe that you can do it. Then you have to ask yourself. A lot of people, I remember 20, 25 years ago, I've had friends, they used to believe that they're going to do everything. They have such a good talent that they're going to make their lives so much better with that talent. But in the end, when they got a little bit older, uh, their their talent was replaced with machinery, with other younger talents, and they were devastated. They, I remember um, specifically this one person in my mind that he became so bitter, so disappointed in life, so angry that I couldn't even. He wouldn't even say hello anymore. Where he was like a brother to me, and a lot of people like that, But I just specifically I remember this person, and he passed away. But he passed away being angry, resentful, and upset because he didn't believe himself that he could do better. He didn't believe that his mind can do as good a job as his talent. He didn't push himself. He was always scared. He was always holding back. He was always saying that other people are better than me. There's no such thing. Other people are pushing themselves. Their disappointment level is so much higher than your disappointment level that they are going through arrows and freaking knives throwing at them. But they have on the other side of it, they have hundreds of scars, and but that's what it takes to make it. That's what it takes to be to jump to come to the other side. There, I don't know if you guys seen this picture. There is a wolf that there are like hundreds of arrows on him. This was a picture a while back that was on the internet going around, and that picture represents that, like you're not going to become the dominant wolf without all those arrows, uh, like it shot at you, and then you're feeling all the scars on all the wounds. Still, you remember each one of them. That's what it takes. So the you have a mind, you have talent, and you have patience. You have whatever you have. You gotta push yourself to do better in all those levels, and don't be okay with some failures and some wounds and some crazy moments. You have to get out of it really, really quickly. You can't be stuck in there. Being stuck is the worst enemy of success. And don't be drifting too much in deciding something, because that's another enemy of success. You gotta come out of it very quickly. You see, you have to this whole time I'm going to keep on saying this, because you have to develop uh, a quality that you have to come in and out of depression. You have to effortlessly get out of your disappointments. So you have to develop this. It's a special personality, and you should. It's your obligation and your duty to work on this and develop it, because it's going to help you to go all the way and a long way. So, belief system, how you make it, man? How you develop?
Yeah. So your belief system. So I think before we even consider what your belief system should be, I think you should first go out there and just sort of get to know yourself. Go out there and experience the things that you want to experience. Of course, the things that catch your attention. Go and try those out, and see if they have to do something with you. And then once you discover that, that certain things do resonate with you, definitely start to study and develop your belief system around those strengths and those weaknesses that you possess. That way you make those more solidified, you make them more stronger, and then you walk in the world with a better sense of self. You understand yourself better, you understand where you'll excel and where you don't excel as much. And so you'll know exactly where you should be putting your focus and your attention and your hard work into, and where you shouldn't, and you should probably let somebody else take care of that. Um, so I think that belief system aspect is hugely important to understand that, because that'll in of itself determine how you proceed, how you take action, how you move forward, but not necessarily actually to the extent. I think that more has to do with your capability of having a vision and a purpose. I think that's a separate thing to understand and learn how to develop those, and how to have the confidence and the self-esteem to develop a big enough of a purpose that really inspires you and pushes you to use more of those strengths and use them at higher quantities, uh, maybe far beyond what you feel that you can tolerate, and really push yourself to limits that you didn't think were possible. But obviously, you got to have a purpose and a vision that's compelling enough for you, so that you go and you put yourself through those situations. Because if the purpose isn't that meaningful, then there's really no reason for you to be pushing yourself and be putting yourself through these struggles on purpose, because it just doesn't make any sense to do that. There's got to be a purpose. There's got to be a reason for you to do those things, and so that's that. And then, as far as leadership goes, I think your belief system for sure. It'll definitely influence how you lead, but I think there's other aspects as well that make a leader a good leader, and not just a manager or somebody that can manage people, but actually lead them. Like actually leading through inspiration, leading through example, leading through actually understanding the team, listening to the team, and really connecting with the people that you got, and understanding their strengths and their weaknesses, and putting them in areas where their strengths will excel, and obviously having the entire team contribute to that vision, that purpose. So you have to believe in that, so that you're able to transfer on that to the rest of the team, and everybody else is fully bought in just as you are. So that's my take on leadership. And yeah.
All right. um, Next, if people are walking away from you, then you get up and walk away. Obviously, right? So you don't sit there, and if the doors are closing, you have to do what you have to do is walk to the next door. Basically, um, I'm going to talk about the Nexus for a little bit and then explain this. Nexus is something where it's been explained in Roman times. The latest ones that I do remember that was explained really, really well was in the movie of um, what was the name of the movie? Neo, the Matrix, right? Matrix. Thank you. So Neo goes to this hallway, and there's a bunch of doors everywhere, and then everything. Some doors are closed, some doors are open. So this is what it represents. What it represents is like you have um, how much you have leeway on keeping uh, relationships going, friendships going, or how much people they believe in you, how much you put out value and put out information and everything. That's how many doors are open for you. How much you put yourself on the front line, like we are doing here. Um, that's how much those doors are open to you. Some are still closed, but more is open than others that they experience in their life. Because if you're bitter, if you're upset all the time, you're fighting with everybody, everyone don't want to help you. Not necessarily they don't like you, they don't love you, but they don't want to help you because they don't want to hear it. They don't want to know your shit. But um, that's what happens when, uh, you know, um, when people are walking away. That's what happens because you are closing those doors, and those doors are not going to be open for you, and that means you have less doors that you can get into. You less places you're invited. um, you have to be careful with that because a lot of the times you can't get up and walk and go to the next door, get into the next door because it's most likely it's not available, or if it is, then maybe it's not that great for you, anyways. So that's one thing you have to be careful with that. How do you conducting your life in what matter? And next is it's literal, like you're doing something and you're not enjoying it, you're not having fun, it's dreadful. Maybe all you have to do is go to the next door and then you find something better over there. It's literally, it explains itself here. But it doesn't mean that the next door is going to be better than where you are today. It might be that you are the problem. You're not doing the great something amazing, something where people from next door, they're becoming curious about you and they're like, please come help us, that kind of thing. As in, like, company, um, when we put out really beautiful jewelry and then out and like great quality and then fast, and we don't fuck around with the orders. Other people are looking for people like us. They show up because they hear, they see, and then they want that for their company, and then they're going to show up because we are the manufacturers and we put out amazing stuff. And um, that's what happens, like. So it starts with you, it ends with you. Whatever happens to you because of you, pretty much. And sometimes the answer is not walking out to the next door. Other times are, if you're not welcome, you probably want to take off from there. So it all depends what's going on. But at the end of the day, like I said, look into your um, um, look into your insight, and then determine what are you doing. Everything I said. So um, yeah, it starts with you, ends with you, I guess.
Yeah. So if people are walking away from you, then get up and walk away. Yeah. I mean, for sure. I mean, sometimes that happens, and you just kind of gotta be okay with that. People come and go. Certain people stay, certain don't, and I think that's perfectly okay. Um, as far as like if it's always your fault or not, I think you should definitely take a very deep analysis and look at yourself and look at really pause and really think about like who you are, and really reconsider the way that you're putting yourself out there as far as like your actions go, because sometimes we tend to have an interpretation of who we are in our own minds, and we think that that's what we're reflecting out there, but the reality is that sometimes those two are not necessarily aligned, and
True that.
through our actions we're actually putting out a whole different type of person. And so it's good to sometimes stop and really reflect on that and see if those two are actually in sync, and see exactly how do you want to be putting yourself out there. Now if those two are in sync and you have thought about who you are, and you're perfectly okay with how you're putting yourself out there, and still people are walking away, then at that point I think it's perfectly okay to just acknowledge that and be okay with that and let them walk away. And don't take that upon yourself. Like maybe it's them, maybe they need to straighten themselves up, and so has nothing to do with you. You don't necessarily need to be the one to change, and so you can just walk away as well, and continue being yourself. And because at the end of the day you can't control what that other person does, or if they walk away or not. You can control yourself, you can control how you put yourself out there, and that's about it. And I think you should be as congruent as possible. And you will, disappoint people. There will be people who just won't like you, and I think that's perfectly okay. Not everybody's meant to like you. I don't think you should, you know, change yourself up to make other people like you and say things that will make other people like you a little more. Uh, Definitely, those are very bad routes, and you should definitely always just look to be yourself. And if the people around you, if they like you, they'll stick around. If they don't, then they'll walk away, and that's perfectly okay. And yeah, pretty much. I mean, that's that's all I have to say about this.
Alrighty. Next, what are you doing with your life? Don't get bothered, man. From doing better. Transfer your life into sophisticated and better. Get education that works. So this is what this means. The thing is, sometimes we get bothered, obviously. Like, you have to know what's bothering you, and are you the problem, or are you the solution, or it's out of your hands. Sometimes things happen that you get bothered, and that's not a good feeling to have anyways. You gotta definitely work on that and diminish that, because it's not gonna help you to do better. So you gotta you got to know what kind of life you're living too, because like you were saying, sometimes in your mind you want this kind of life, and then you're pushing, pulling, and you're trying to do this maneuvers where it takes you to that place, but you are not able, and it's prolonging, like really really long, and that's those things they're gonna start bothering you. They're gonna start weighing on you, and everything's going to become heavy. And if you don't open your mouth, and if you don't say it, you're stuck, because you're stuck in your mind, and you feel like shit, and you can't even express yourself enough, and everything is bothering you now. And what happens when you get bothered? You get shut down. You shut yourself down. You just don't you don't want to play anymore. Like, you don't want to be part of something, and that's going to keep you behind. That's going to keep behind a lot of things. And all I can think right this second is about life is short, time is short. If you don't do it, no one's going to do it for you. And if you don't move your ass, you're losing those moments, those minutes, those precious days, and those are life that not going to come back. So you have to figure this out for you, and you have to transfer your life into sophisticated. What is sophisticated? Sophisticated means discipline. When you have discipline, everything is clean, everything is nice, everything is, you can afford to buy something expensive because you work for it, and then you put the value out, you make the money. Now you become sophisticated, meaning you're so disciplined that you can get anything you want, and life becomes interesting, life becomes easier, it becomes magical, because now you're not only doing good, like people all around you, they're coming up with you, because you are just killing it. You're doing so good because you have such a discipline that nothing will derail you from this thing that you're doing, but you're doing it so good that, like, you're gonna see the difference. You're gonna see something amazing about to happen, and that is exciting. Life becomes exciting then. I said education, what works. Obviously, a little bit of education or a little bit of internal education will help too, because you can teach yourself a lot of things, but this thing's going to happen through discipline. It's not going to happen through mimicking something, or doing like somebody else for a little while. That's fine, it works, but in the end, You are who you are. You have to become the better version of you. You have to come amazing version of you, because that's the only way it's going to work, because you are who you are. I can't be you, you can't be me. That's pretty much, that's what it ends, and life will become interesting. And when you become interesting, everybody wants to hang around with you, because people love interesting people. um, I don't know. I think I can go on, but this is pretty much what I said here. I wanted to illiterate. Tongue
Yeah.
is I'm stuck.
So
Anyhow, yes.
yeah. Um, so what are you doing with your life? That's always a good question to ask yourself. What are you doing? Is it really contributing to something that a purpose or something that you want to achieve in life? So that's that. Um don't get bothered from doing better. Uh, is this like doing better than others, or like
No,
what
this part is all about you, individual, where you have. We all ask these questions all the time, right, to ourselves.
I
I
mean,
hope you do, because I do all the time. And when you ask these questions, you've kind of like, some questions makes you sad, some questions make you angry, some makes you, I want to go do better, determined. I want to change.
I don't get bothered from doing better, but uh, I don't know anyone who gets bothered from doing better. But,
You don't?
why would you
I
get bothered by getting better?
I That's not what it's saying there. Wait, what are you reading?
Says don't get bothered from doing better.
Don't get bothered doing better. Um, you can read it the opposite too. Like some people are, they're so bothered that they can't do better. Don't You have to do better. That's what, it's kind of like, this is the reverse way of putting it there.
Okay. Um. Yeah. Yeah. So getting better, but obviously, getting better. You got to have some sort of purpose, something, a reason to even get better, to even be able to track what you even mean by getting better. Like, you got to know how you were doing, 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. You got to really know, like, what kind of improvements you're making, and at what pace, and are you pushing yourself enough, to where, it's still like, you know, it's still interesting for you to continue getting better. Uh, if not, you'll just settle for something that's good enough. Um, yeah, that's what I understand from that. And transfer your life into sophisticated. Um, I don't know about that. I think definitely you should uh, turn your life into something that's meaningful, something that means something to you. Never live a life that's in spite of impressing others or making others happy, because that's just not a it's not a good it's not a good angle to go by. You should always focus on yourself first, and focus on a life that's gonna be amazing for you. And of course, because of that, eventually the value that you will be providing will somehow connect to that which you want to do the best. A good example of this could be an athlete. An athlete, the best of the best athletes are always they're always pushing themselves, to become better, to become the best. But that doesn't necessarily mean that they're looking to uh, please others or impress other people with the way they play. They're doing it for themselves because they want to become better. They want to become the best, and as a result, they do inspire other people to be the same way and push themselves as well. because they're leading. They're showing it through example. They're winning. They're actually achieving results. It's not like they're just out there, just talking and sharing stuff. They're actually performing. They're getting results, and people are inspired by results, not necessarily by hearing something fancy or seeing someone, who's interesting or fancy or like, trendy or anything like that. Like, it's all about the results, and it's all about the consistency of those results as well. And yeah.
All right. Um, let's do it. Actually, sophisticated means being neat, like clean. Everything is on point, ready to go. That's what that word is there
It's
for.
OCD, man.
OCD.
Yeah.
I mean, you can call it OCD, but it takes long time, long work, a lot of work to have something right, ready to go. You know, you can call it OCD if you want, but um, next is take charge of your life. Walk away from people they believe in average, because if you are okay with average, you don't have to walk away. That's not what this is. This is motivational. If you want to become better, obviously, this is what it's about. Don't make excuses. Invest in life. You can change, develop a discipline. This part is definitely, it's motivational, because a lot of time we lack motivation. A lot of life could be harsh. Life could be hitting you down so low that you're not feeling good about it anymore, and that doesn't, it won't make you excited. It won't make you get up in the morning excited. Let's go make something amazing, and I want to change the world, and I want to be you know, special, and all these things. It takes certain amount, a certain personality trait to become somebody that you want to do something special. You know, always that's welcome with everybody. So this is why I'm saying walk away from people that they're think average. Doesn't mean you have to, but if you want to become great in something that you're doing, you have no business with average people, because they're gonna hold you back. So you make that choice, you make that decision. Is that, if that's what you want to do, then you probably don't want to go hang around with friends that they want to go drink beer. They want to do a lot of barbecuing. They want to go and watch the soccer game, and they want to go clubbing. They want to do drugs. They want to spend 5 hours talking to girls. They want to do this and that. You probably most likely don't want to do that, because those are average things that happen in the society. If you want something, if you want to do something special, you probably want to have to do something special, meaning a lot of studying, a lot of working, a lot of education, a lot of development, a lot of work, and more work and more work. So um, to have something special happen to you. Don't make excuses. Don't make any excuses. Pretty much, invest in life. Go buy some great books that helps you learn about your industry. That helps you go to seminars. Will help you go to shows on your industry. Learn more. That helps you. You know, and everything like that. You need to invest money and time. Um, and develop a discipline. Again, discipline shows up again. You have to have discipline to be able to do something uh, in how do you say, like, in duration, in like that long hours of something that you're trying to figure out how to do it. That takes discipline. It doesn't, if somebody calls you like, hey man, let's go, we're gonna go watch the soccer game tonight, Brazil is playing with against Germany, like, who gives a shit? Because you're trying to build life, you're trying to make something special here. that shouldn't be an excuse for you to get out of your focus and what you're trying to do here. So this is what it's about. And then pretty much stay motivated, stay focused, stay doing, just do it, and then it's going to happen. It will happen regardless because you're doing it.
Yeah. Yeah. So take charge of life. Walk away from people who don't believe in average. Don't
Yeah.
believe they believe in average. Yeah. So I mean, obviously, whoever you hang out with, obviously, it starts to sort of rub off on you, like whatever kind of mindset they have. And so it's smart to like pick and choose who you're going to be spending your time with. And of course, this doesn't necessarily have to do with the just the mindset itself, but also uh, with the results they're achieving as well. You also want to see that because while there may be people who have the right mindset and they can talk about it all day about how smart and intelligent they are, doesn't really matter as much if they're not actually performing, if they're not actually uh, making something happen, whatever it is that they're pursuing. And so that's got to be very clear as well. You got to know exactly what that person is pursuing and are they actually, you know, taking action as far as that goes. And so, that even matters more than the mindset itself because anybody can just go and study and, memorize a bunch of cool mindset things and, you know, presume that they're actually on the journey of it. But in fact, they're not really in there because they're not actually producing any results. Things aren't actually happening. They aren't necessarily taking action. They're not really looking for, the angles that could get them results and putting in the work itself. So that in of itself also matters, not just about mindset. And so yeah, definitely. Um, uh, Excuses part, obviously. Try to not make any excuses. Eventually, I mean, this could happen here and there. You'll wind up just making one here and there, maybe impulsively, but try not to make any excuses. Uh, invest in um, invest in yourself for sure. I think that's the biggest investment you could ever make is in yourself. So definitely, that's something that I personally do. I usually try to invest the majority of what I can into myself, whether that's reading books, getting courses, uh, uh, getting some sort of opportunity, some sort of experience that's going to push me forward. Um, that I see that is aligned with the purpose that I have, and so we got those going. And of course, discipline. I think discipline is something that's highly it's not talked about much because usually the one that overshadows it is usually motivation. I think people value motivation more than they value discipline, but I think discipline is actually more important than motivation itself. That's why I personally don't do motivation as much anymore, if not at all, because to me motivation is like something that it's sort of a beginner phase, something that beginners kind of do when they're barely starting their journey in personal development. They need to be pushed, they need to be motivated by other people. Um, I don't really need that anymore. But I do appreciate discipline a lot more because it keeps you more rigid, more on point to what you're doing, and it actually helps you achieve things and make things happen. Actually achieve results and actually have something to show for all the time. And yes, sometimes you do have to make those sacrifices. You do have to wind up spending time all by yourself, mastering your craft, something I do a lot. And I think it's extremely useful, especially if you're able to do that. You're able to hone that alone time to yourself and really focus and go deep into whatever your craft is that you're trying to improve upon, and be able to say no to other things that like that may not necessarily contribute to that. Now, I think there should be at least somewhat of um, of human element to yourself. So not completely go 100% just work to the point where you just become very stiff and just robotic and a working machine. I think you should make some time for your relationships, and going and like spending time with them, whatever activity it is you want to do. But make sure that also is scheduled within your week, and that it fits in there nicely, but that not necessarily a work life balance, but more like knowing which one is going to take the priority here. And usually it's work, so might be like an 80-20, 90-10, whatever feels best for you, whatever you want to prioritize more. And yeah, pretty much.
Very good. So next one goes like this. How many do we have? Ooh, we have a big one here. All right. Next one is how do you make things go? Things come to reality. Um, if you live in possibility, everything that you think is possible. Don't live in probability. Just change the way you think. If you change your thoughts, you change everything. That's why they say think and grow rich, because everything starts with your thoughts. If you think shitty things gonna come to you. It's gonna happen to you. If you believe and you think great things, eventually great things gonna come to you, because that's what the approach you will take, because you believe that I can climb this mountain. You do everything, anything. You bring in new shoes, you bring in new water, you make sure you have water, you make sure you have a stick, you make sure everything that you need, it's possible to conquer that mountain. So you see, if you're thinking to walk through the desert, you're gonna push yourself to have appropriate things to walk through the desert. So anything starts with mind, then you will accomplish. What? No, not now. Jesus Christ. Um, Sorry, guys, there's someone at the door. I can't go to the door now. So I'm going to pretend that the door is not ringing now. It's not possible. We can stop. We want to.
We can stop.
We can stop?
No.
We don't want to stop it. Okay, so this is what I was thinking about this this topic here. When I was younger, I loved playing soccer. People used to. I I remember going to the soccer game and then not being welcome, because they remembered previous games that I messed up their game. And when I was younger, I wasn't a good soccer player, so I would mess up a lot, and people didn't care about me so much. And then I never stopped. I used to go practice a lot. When I want to become good in something, I have this personality that I didn't know when I was younger. Now I know what I was doing. But I would get so focused on getting better. And I would, in my own time, I would go practice, practice more, practice more. I did this in breakdancing. I did this in jewelry. I did this in fishing. I did this everything, everywhere. But when I was playing soccer, when I got better, people used to come pick me up from my house to make sure that I am coming to that game, because they knew that they were going to win. They had better chance to win that game if I was playing in that game. So you become valuable. You need to put the time. You need to want to do it. You need to. You guys understand what I'm saying here. So the possibilities become endless. Where do you want to play? You want to play the back? You want to play forward? You want to play mid field? What do you want to play? Once you become good, people will open up to you. They will give you the chance. They will push you. They want you to come and help them to win that game. So I've experienced that. So I wanted to put this story here for you guys to have a video in your mind to understand how you develop your mindset, like how what happens, like how valuable you can become from not being so welcome. So you have to change your ways, change your thoughts, change everything. Everything will change for you, and that is true in having relationship, having a family, kids, wife, having business, having colleagues, having friends, having all kinds of stuff. This is how everything works. Remember, you don't have forever. You have now. Now is the time to do it, and you start now, and then in time you'll get better in that. You can do thousands of things. You want to do something that you like, you enjoy, and that's going to make you feel good. Whether you get paid, you get feel good, or whether you accomplish, you feel good. Whatever happens, if it makes you feel good and you're happy, you should stick to it. You should make that choice. You make that decision. You just go with it, and you make that happen. And it will happen because you're gonna be there. You're gonna be doing it. It will happen. It doesn't. There's no way around it. It will happen. So possibilities are endless, and remember to just do it. Like Nike says, do it. Yeah, one of those.
Yeah, yeah. So definitely, when you take action, when you find something that you really like, working on it behind the scenes and everything. Um, that's all great and all, but I think one element that not a lot of people talk about, but it's very important, is really the judgment of others. When you have that type of mindset, because people around you won't understand what's going on. They'll think that that's kind of like weird. You're going off and you're trying to get better at something. You start like you have to you change the way you manage your day, because you got to put in that practice. You're going all by yourself over there, whether that's like soccer practice or anything that you do. And there's going to be other people who are going to want to, they'll tell you to, you're better, you're better at this one thing already, like, why don't you come do this for us, and you know be part of something right here, instead of pursuing that one thing, that you feel that you can get better at. But maybe currently right now you're not that good. You may have a lot of passion for it, but you're just not good at it, and your results are showing that you're not good at it. And people will tell you that you suck and that you're not good at it. And there may be another thing that you may actually naturally do really well, and people will encourage you to pursue that instead. But maybe that one thing that you're naturally good at, you don't necessarily find it very appealing. It's not that interesting. It's not a big deal. And so maybe even because of that, you're actually more better at it, because it just doesn't carry any any weight to it. And so uh, you gotta learn how to deal with people telling you all these things, trying to get in your head, trying to sabotage that dream of yours, that passion of yours, that you want to pursue all this all the way. And I think, yeah, just a lot of people these days, they neglect that part, but that part is very, very like present these days. Where everybody's just trying to tell this other person that they know best about their life, and that, oh, I know that this is what's good for you. I see that you're doing this and this. Why don't you just pursue this and this? I get told this a lot, plenty of times actually, based on like the skills that I have. And for the most part, I have to decline. I have to say no, because I just don't want to pursue that route. um, you know there's there's things that I still want to get better at, and maybe right now I'm not that good, but I know that later on I will be, and yeah, and so you have to resist that urge of wanting to take an easier route, because maybe you're good at that thing already, so the path may be a little bit easier there because you have a natural talent at it, and so you have to decide, and at that point, it really comes down to you selling yourself out and selling your dream, and really saying, like, you know what, I'm kind of good at that. Maybe I should just pursue that. I have a chance. Who knows? Maybe you get sabotaged into thinking that go where you'll make more money, and so maybe right here you'll make more money because your talents and skill are higher here. So you might just sacrifice the thing that you love doing because you won't get paid as much, and go and pursue the thing that is going to pay you more, even if you don't necessarily like it as much. So you have to make that choice. And whether you're going to pursue your dream, this one thing that you really enjoy doing, but you're not that good at, but you know that you will get better at it if you do put into practice, or just take the easier route, go with what people are recommending that you go and do, go and like perhaps make more money here in the short term, but in the long term, you just won't be happy. You won't be fulfilled. You just won't be satisfied with the path that you've chosen. So I think that's very important.
Okay, the next question is very similar to what you explained, but it has its own flavor because this is as important as everything you said. It has a different twist to it. Let's go. Have you been challenged from other people? Are you going to take challenge from other people, or are you going to challenge yourself? Does that reflect your dreams? Do you know your dreams? Do you know what you want? You need to challenge, right? Yeah. You get into your space and get into your area. If you want to succeed in a real way, you need to challenge yourself. So everything is challenge you. I've challenged myself a lot. Everything that you were saying, I went through that, and I'm a master jeweler, I'm a master polisher, and then I'm a master wax designer, I'm a master, like I'm becoming a master setter, not in everything, but whatever I do. um, I'm pretty much master of all the everything that jewelry requires uh, to run a company. So I will cover all the bases, and I'm a master on every station. So there was a reason I did that. When I started, I was just a bench jeweler, and I wasn't comfortable with. I always pushed myself. I became really good bench jeweler, and then I wanted. Then the industry, the time, the clients, people push you, and then you're like, okay, let me try this. And then when you have certain what do you call certain um, personality, it's not really personality, but it's trait, where when you touch something you want to become the best in that, or one of the best, you're pretty much doomed. You're screwed, because here you go. You're going to invest 5 years in that to become the best, one of the best, or the best. That's me, and I end up doing that, and pretty much I went 20 years. I went through this time that became my space, my area of expertise, and I became that person. And all I want to say is, being on the other side of this, don't forget to develop your mindset during this time, because if you do and you get here and you're really good at this, a lot of the times you don't know what to do with it, because no one's going to give you value. You have to give your value to yourself. That's why the challenge is yourself. That's what I put here in the end, because you have to challenge yourself. The challenge is you. You have to not only learn and become the best in the trade, but also you have to know how to use this trade to make something happen. Because again, life is short, and the rest, and don't play around. And 20 years you invest learning something, you're left with 20 years of you're going to do something great, and then you're getting old and you're all screwed anyways. But in that 20 years you have to change your industry, change your life, change something. So yes, we have to change, but we become better. But we have to remember to become our mindsets to become better too, because that's where you're going to use your mind to make something come out of that. The you know Make something amazing with that.
Yeah. Yeah. So challenges from other people. Um, so yeah.
I had a lot to say there, but I guess the people get the point, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, I think yeah, it really depends on who you surround yourself with, as far as like getting challenged.
Yeah. Can I
And
say, remember, we've heard this a lot. You're the average of your five friends you hang around with.
yeah,
We all know. So
yeah, that's actually a very good advice actually that not a lot of people apply actually.
yeah,
And 'cause they want to like they want to actually include more people and hang out with even more people and like add like a bunch of people into their
more is better.
no. Um, Definitely not more is better. Actually, less is actually better in that case.
For sure, quality.
Yeah, for sure. And I think those people should be picked with time and
Yeah,
very assertively, and they can change too. It's not like
for sure.
they have to stay there. The five have to remain forever. Uh, Definitely, people change, and so I think it's normal that people kind of go and drift off, and yeah, so that's pretty cool. Uh, I actually didn't think that was cool back in the day. I would think that was kind of like messed up that people would just leave and stuff.
Now you're like grateful.
But now it's like yeah, it's like not even that. I mean, it's I just understand that it's normal and
Yeah,
that it's necessary for people to go and pursue their own journey and pursue
yeah,
their own whatever makes them happy and that
yeah.
makes them
May
you
I
know
add something on that? My life experience when I was younger, a lot of people drift away like that. You're explaining. After 20 years later, a lot of those friends, one by one, they start coming back, and clients. It's crazy, like how it's a full cycle, how it works.
okay. Yeah, so there's that. uh I've had a few friends come back as well from like before, and I've sent actually all of them back. uh
Mm.
I don't want them anymore because they weren't even like good people to have. Maybe in those times for sure, but now it's like they just I kind of sort of make them prove to me that they're worthy of even being part of my life, and so they just don't. So I just don't have them there. But definitely
Great.
challenges are good, and whether you're challenging yourself or you're having other people challenge you. um, I think challenging yourself is actually much more effective though, because I mean, you always have yourself with you. So if you can do it on your own and you can, see where you need to improve or where you have the potential to go even higher, um, it's good that you challenge yourself in that aspect. But obviously, if you're able to have other people challenge you, and I would only accept those type of challenges from people that I trust. and people who are actually just as in the same journey as you are.
Hmm.
So whatever it is that they're doing, um, and that there's a level of empathy as well. For like the relationship itself it goes beyond just wanting to push you in that aspect. So like they obviously need to have some sense of like the challenge that they're putting up for you, because some challenges aren't exactly like you know fit for you, as far as like there's not that level of empathy where they understand exactly where you're going, and so they want to challenge you in a whole different direction that will take you somewhere else. Sure, it could probably help you improve, but then you have to see if that's even worth your time accepting such a challenge. And we see this everywhere. Like people are calling out each other all the time. I challenge you this, I challenge you that, but like some challenges are worth your time, some are really pointless. So you have to decide which challenge is actually going to propel you forward and push you in a healthy way, and which challenge can do the complete opposite and push you in a not so healthy way. That's gonna maybe cause more harm to you than it is gonna do any benefit to you. So it's good to analyze those and see with logic.
Alrighty, so we are pretty much in the last question. Remember, this is a Developing Mindset podcast. We put out all this content for you guys because this is how we live our life here. This is what we do. This is what we want. This is where we push ourselves, and then we are familiar with this side of the things, and we can put out all this content for you guys. Hopefully, the name of the show will make you guys understand what is this about, and that was true. So the last one, always we finish with develop your mindset. Develop your mindset on uh, talking, taking ownership. Taking ownership is the last word here, because everything we talked about, everything we said, everything you want to do is you have to be you have to be willing to take ownership, because this is what it takes. This is one of the qualities that it takes to become better. Like if you don't take ownership, if you don't if you mess it up and you don't take ownership, you're not going to fix yourself. How are you going to develop your mindset if you don't take ownership? Um, you have to man up, and uh, you have to admit your adequacies and your mistakes, so you can go and fix it and become better. Um, you gotta spend time, effort, so you can be better. Um, if you want to protect your homeland or the front line, you have to take ownership of that too. Um, if you're creating something, also you have to take ownership. If things start going wrong in your life, you got to understand that the only person can fix that, it's you again. So by taking ownership, by admitting, by saying yes, it was my fault, I could have fixed it, and I got busy or whatever, taking ownership of that, it's going to make you go do better. It's going to make you learn, become the better version of you. It starts with developing your mindset, and it ends with develop your mindset. So this is what this week is all about. And let me know if you guys like this show, topics, and if you guys have any questions, if you guys have any stories, please share with us. I would love to hear it. I would love to continue this today's podcast further by being involved in the comments uh, let us know. I appreciate you guys. Thank you. It's your last.
Yeah, so taking ownership. So definitely having that mentality of taking ownership really it's really about embracing the good and the bad in yourself, embracing your mistakes, embracing your successes, and really looking into your failures and the things that didn't necessarily work out, and really looking deep into those, taking the responsibility to learn about them, and acknowledging not only the action but also the reaction that you have to them as well, and realizing that your reaction not only affects you but also affects the people that you're working with. So because they notice those things as well, or the people that the relationships that you have, your reaction to certain situations, they see that, and so that pretty much your reaction emotionally and logically
Mm.
will ultimately determine how they perceive you. If they'll perceive you as someone that can be a leader, or somebody who may not necessarily be a leader, and is just there because they pretty much, there's nobody else to fill that role. So that's, they're just kind of there. But yeah, definitely that's something that you should definitely look into. And other than that, yeah, thank you very much for watching.
Awesome. Thank you guys. Remember, like I said, leave comments down below. And don't forget those likes because YouTube love to see that and we love to see that too. So please don't forget to do that. And next week will be different. Yeah.
Yeah. So thank you very much. There's going to be links down below so you can check us out on social media, and of course, link to our book if you want to download that or listen to the audiobook version. And yeah, subscribe, hit the like button, comment down below anything you want to comment there. And other than that, thank you very much, and we'll see you in the next episode.
Thank you. Appreciate it, guys.
Thank you. All right, it's done.